All right. This question is a practice SAT style question from the College Board. Let's take a look. The function g is defined by g of x is equal to x minus 2 times x plus 6 squared. The value of g times 7 minus w is 0, where w is a constant. What is the sum of all possible values of w? So we're looking for the values of w, and then we will add them up. So a very typical SAT question, you're not only getting the actual value, you're also going to do something else with them. So this is what we're going to do, right? So you have a function, a very typical SAT question. You're given with a function, and then there is another information provided to you. Like in this example, it's g of 7 minus w is 0. Every time you see an expression, a number inside the parentheses, that replaces your x. And it's stated here that once you replace your x with that, it's equal to 0. So let's do that. So then g of 7 minus w is equal to x will be replaced with 7 minus w, and then again 7 minus w minus 2, and then 7 minus w plus 6 squared. And it's stated here it is equal to 0. Once we have replaced all the x with 7 minus w, that's equal to 0. So we are going to replace it with 0. Now, this equation is in factored form. We learned before that if the equation is in factored form and it's equal to 0, we can equate each factor to 0. So let's do that. So 7 minus w is equal to 0. 7 minus w minus 2 is equal to 0. And 7 minus w plus 6 squared is equal to 0. Then we'll solve for w. So w is equal to, so negative 7 minus w equals 0. You can add w on both sides. You get w is equal to 7. 7 minus 2 is 5 minus w will do the same thing. W is equal to 5. And in this case, before you simplify this, you take the square root of both sides. That will take away the 2, the squared. So then we do now 7 plus 6. That will give you 13 minus w. And so again, add w to both sides. So w is equal to 13. So we got all those values for w. And so what we do is we're going to add them up. That is equal to 7 plus 5 is 12 plus 13 is 25. And that should be the correct answer. Now, if you don't want to do this way, you can also solve the value of the variable if you enter this on Desmos. We have Desmos, so we can enter that exactly as how you see it. Oh, no, you have to change the w to x, because if you don't replace w with x, that will not graph it for you. Okay? So every time you're solving, you're finding the value, you must graph it and find the x-intercepts. And the only way to graph them is to have an equation in terms of x. So we have to replace w with x once we are on Desmos. So we are going to plug this in on Desmos, which I already did. It's 7 minus x, 7 minus x minus 2, and 7 minus x plus 6 squared. So in this case, we are going to make sure that you zoom it in, zoom out, so that you can see where it touches the x-axis. So if you notice, it touches it at 3 points, at 5, at 7, and at 13. So those are the values that we got, right? So 5, 7, and 13. And we add those up, and that's equal to 25. I hope this helps. See you again next time. Bye.